if you get angry about what I'm about to say, that to me that's on you. It's my show, it's my opinion, and I try to live my life by being myself and saying what I believe. And I think there's a couple topics, probably these next two, that are going to bring some consternation, some anger. Remember, the show is called Strong Opinion Sports. It's made by me, not you. And if you want to make your own show, feel free to go make your own podcast and talk about sports your own way, yourself, on your own time. This weekend, the 49ers beat the Cowboys 23-17 on Sunday. And once again, the Dallas Cowboys were one and done in the playoffs. They made it in and had an early, immediate exit. And let's dive into the most important thing from this football game. I saw after the game a lot of Cowboys fans were blaming the refs for the loss. I even saw something like, by the way, I saw something from a media professional, someone who is like they cover football for a living. They said a game should never end that way. The refs should not get in the way of the end of a football game. So here's what happened. The Cowboys had the ball down 6 points with 0 timeouts left, so no way to stop the clock. Ball on the 40-yard line, going in, 14 seconds left. And Dak Prescott, the Cowboys quarterback, ran the ball up the middle for 16 yards. And very quickly, credit to Dallas, they got everyone set. They put the ball down, got ready to spike the ball and stop the clock. However, there was one problem. You may not know this, but when you are getting ready to run a play in football, the ref has to spot the ball. Every play, the ref has to touch the football before the play happens. And instead of giving the ball to the ref, Dak Prescott put the ball on the ground, got set. So the ref had to get through Dak Prescott, spot the ball, and then they could let the play happen. So he bumped into Dak. Dak couldn't get set in time. Time ran out, game over. They didn't spike it in time, and the Cowboys did not get a final shot from the 24, 25-yard line to throw the ball into the end zone. And little backstory here. I absolutely hate when people blame the refs for a loss. And I've got baggage here. I once lost a game in high school football where it was national TV against our rival, my first ever varsity start, by the way, my junior year. We blocked the last-second field goal. They picked it up and ran for a touchdown. We were on, so the next Monday, I'm watching football with my dad. We were on Come On Man. Chris Carter's making fun of us. We were on World's Worst. We were on Not Top 10. We beat out the butt fumble from Mark Sanchez. It was wild. And for the rest of my entire high school career, 2 years following that, people would bring, signs to our games and say, "Come on, man, World's Worst," stuff like that, make fun of us. Now, after that loss in the locker room, we're devastated. We're mad at the refs. How could that happen? And my coach said something that I'll never forget and has always been very important to me and has really, really shaped how I look at the football world. He said, rather than focus on that one play, what about all the other stuff we could have done to win? What about the times we missed, we had turnovers, we missed shots to the end zone? We had way more opportunities to win that game. And it did not really come down to one play. People love to focus on the one play that went wrong rather than the things they could have done differently. And this is life too. People hate to focus on, my marriage fell apart because I didn't do blank, blank, blank. It was her fault. She's big bad. People, I've said it before, we love to tell ourselves stories and make us the hero and make us feel good about ourselves. And it's a lot easier to blame the refs than it is to go, the Cowboys played like crap. They made a lot of mistakes. And I feel bad for Cowboy fans, the fan base. You guys, oh my gosh, you poor souls. It's been a long time since Dallas had a Super Bowl win and a big deep playoff run. But I will say I do not sympathize at all with the team, the coaching staff, the players. The Cowboys as a team did so many things wrong in this football game. How about 14 penalties? What about when Dak Prescott threw an interception on his own 19-yard line, which led to a 49ers touchdown? And by the way, this is what really, really, really irritates me. The Cowboys had a shot. They had the ball with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left. That should have been the final possession where they're down 6 points, and that's the time where you put a drive together and go win the game. They got stopped on 4th and 11. They couldn't put a drive together. Again, that's the drive where you should have won the game on. Why are you you're blaming the time when you couldn't make a drive happen in like 40 seconds? What about when you had the ball with 2 minutes, less than 3 minutes left, a good shot to win the game, you didn't make it happen. You couldn't put together a drive. And even on that final play, 40-yard line, 14 seconds left, no timeouts. Why? Why in the world would you run the ball down the middle of the field when you have no way to stop the clock? And look, maybe you could argue that Dak Prescott ran a little too far. He should have ran 10 yards, got down rather than 16 yards, took too much time. Maybe he should have handed the ball to the ref rather than spotted himself. Like, there are things that could have been done differently, but in my opinion, that's just a bad play call. Like, I don't know why you're running the football when you got no way to stop the clock, 14 seconds left on the 40-yard line. And even if they did spike the ball with like 1 second left, what really did the Cowboys miss out on? They would have gotten one play from the 24 to 25-yard line, and maybe they could have scored a touchdown. So again, what did they miss out on? That ending did not cost Dallas the game. It's not like they had a touchdown that got overturned and taken off the board. I mean, when Dez Bryant caught the touchdown pass that was not called a touchdown, that one, totally get it. Years ago, Dez Bryant, that was a catch. That was a touchdown. They should have won that football game. I believe it was against Detroit. Someone, if it's not Detroit, remind me. That one, that situation, be angry. The refs robbed you of a victory. Absolutely. But what was robbed from Dallas here? They missed out on a chance to maybe make a final throw to the end zone, right? Like, okay, they didn't miss out on the game-winning touchdown. They missed out on a shot to maybe win the football game. People that are acting like the refs cost them the game, come on. Like, grow up. I do not understand. Dallas never led the entire game. They were down 23-7 going into the fourth quarter. They didn't deserve to win that football game. Also, again, by the way, in that situation, you're down 6 points, 40-yard line, 14 seconds left. Why don't you throw the ball to the end zone twice? You get 2 opportunities at a Hail Mary. You're basically throwing a Hail Mary from the 25-yard line anyway if Dak Prescott can spike it with 1 second left. Why not just get 2 shots at the end zone? You know what I mean? I'm like, what are we really arguing about? It's so stupid to me. And to me, the reason why they lost, like, what was the Cowboys' problem on Sunday? To me, it was bad coaching. It wasn't the refs. It was a team that looked unprepared, that had a ton of penalties, that had some bad play calls, that probably, they kicked a field goal down 16 points when it's like, what is being down 16 versus down, they kicked a field goal down 16 points. It was a 2-score game, 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions. If you kick a field goal there, you're still down 13 and need to score twice to get that many. It's like, I don't know what a field goal on 4th and 7 down 16 points at the end of a game, 12 minutes left, I believe, really benefits you. It's very weird to me. And I am sad because I would have liked to see Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys head coach, against his former team Green Bay and his former quarterback Aaron Rodgers. That would have been really, really fun. But my gosh, man, I can't believe people are blaming the refs. It feels so wrong and silly and misguided, and people just want someone to blame. And again, I think it's easier to blame the refs than it is to look at your own football team and go, yeah, my team didn't play very well. Because, hey, your team didn't play very well. And I'm worried about Dallas next year, too, by the way, because, I mean, look, their schedule is easy. They play they play Eagles, Giants, Washington. That's 6 games they'll probably win. They play like Detroit. I mean, they're going to win a lot of games again in Dallas next year. They got some talented players, and they got, I don't know. By the way, in this game, Nick Bosa, the defensive end for the 49ers, didn't play he got a concussion, didn't play the entire second half. So you were given another advantage you couldn't take, couldn't make advantage of. So anyway, next year when the playoffs come around, Dallas is going to probably win more games than they did this year, in my opinion, looking at their schedule for next year. However, they're still going to have Mike McCarthy coaching the team. And he feels to me like a limiting factor where I'm like, okay, great. And you might lose your offensive coordinator. You might lose your defensive coordinator. There's no way the Cowboys are going to have a better coaching staff next year if they keep Mike McCarthy right now. And to me, Mike McCarthy is a limiting factor, and it's going to be a problem again next year. Now, Jerry Jones loves him. I think Jerry Jones likes that Mike McCarthy has won a Super Bowl before. It feels like, ooh, I got a good coach and I can control him. And I don't know how to put this yet, but I do think that in the state of Texas, you've got the Cowboys and UT Austin, the Longhorns, two football programs that are highly, highly commercialized. I mean, oh my gosh, the money the Dallas Cowboys make is unreal, and the money that Texas football makes is crazy. And I have to wonder. This is not a fully formed thought, but I'm sharing an early, kind of thought I'll develop into a better segment down the road, which is that to some degree now, I think that the Cowboys and Texas football are so commercialized, maybe is the word. Like there's so much money to be made. I think and also, frankly, Jerry Jones is like having fun and doing whatever Jerry Jones feels makes him happy in Dallas. There's so much money to be made. I think that winning becomes actually a secondary thought behind all the business opportunities and the radio appearances and this and like. There's those distractions don't exist in Buffalo and in Kansas City and in Green Bay. And I don't know if that's fair to criticize. I'm not really criticizing. I just wonder if some of the commercialization and the love Texas has for football, if that passion maybe overshadows what should be really a focus on winning. Does that make sense? I don't know if that sounds crazy, but that's a thought I had watching the football game on Sunday. How about the 49ers? 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. He was fine, not great. Had a terrible interception where, it gave new life to the Cowboys in their own territory. Threw a ball high, it got picked off over a receiver's head. Deebo Samuel was a stud once again. He had 10 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown. Plus, he had 3 catches for 38 yards. And Elijah Mitchell, their rookie 6th-round running back out of Louisiana, had 27 carries for 96 yards and a touchdown. I think it's pretty clear Jimmy Garoppolo's time in San Francisco is coming to an end. He's a very solid veteran quarterback. He's just very limited, right? He's always going to make a couple throws a game where you're like, buddy, how can you not? Jimmy G does some good stuff. He had a great throw early in the game. He had some great throws week 18, I guess, against the Rams. But Jimmy G is just not consistent enough to make me feel comfortable that he's a quarterback who can win a Super Bowl in the NFL. But he's going to go somewhere. I think that maybe a team with a young quarterback will take him, and they'll have Jimmy Garoppolo start and let the young guy learn from Jimmy G. Something like that could happen. I could see Jimmy G in Washington, in New York. Someone who drafts a quarterback next year, Matt Corral and Malik Willis, he could go be the veteran starter for a while the understudy learns under him. But honestly, I believe that, I'm really hesitant to say this because I believe it, but I also know that every time they play each other, it's a crazy, fun game. And so who am I to say? But maybe this year's different. I don't know. So let me say it. I believe the 49ers will get destroyed in Green Bay next week. And I think Green Bay is a much better football team. In years past, I felt that way too, though, and the 49ers came in and either won or were very competitive. So who knows? But I would be surprised if the 49ers won next week on the road in Green Bay against Aaron Rodgers, who's playing amazing, and I think the best Packers team we've seen in a couple of years in an organization, the Packers, that have been really good for a couple of years. So I think the 49ers run ends next week in Green Bay.